Good day, comrades and friends. This is Dr. Gabe Roberts, the quantum chiropractor, the subconscious healer, new thought minister, and your expert in energy medicine. My specialty is helping people resolve psychosomatic issues, which include a host of mental challenges, depression, anxiety. People who have been to all kinds of doctors, both natural and conventional doctors, specialists of every kind, and either they get short-term relief and the illness comes back, or they're unable to find the source of why they are sick, why they have symptoms, and why they don't feel good. And we work with people digitally through Zoom. And what we do is we get these emotions released, we help get them healthy, we get them pain-free, many times in a very short time, in real time over a computer screen. One of the most important outcomes that we do is helping people gain rapport with their unconscious mind. And this is key because a person will never outperform or achieve any kind of health that is not in accordance with their self-image or their sense of self-worth. So what will happen oftentimes is that a person will realize they come to the conclusion that they have a health challenge, perhaps neck pain or back pain that's relentless, digestive issues, neurological challenges, and they decide they want to try an alternative medicine. So let's say they go to a naturopathic or a functional medicine doctor, and they have lots of various types of functional testing done, including saliva, blood, stool testing, and then they get a regime of supplements or cleanses or herbs to address these health challenges. And even if you have relief of your symptoms and your lab work, which you started with, starts to show that you've improved on the pathogenic load, the digestive function starts to improve, and the inflammatory markers are starting to improve. Yet there's a deep root within the subconscious mind that you have a self-image that says something along the terms of, I don't matter, or I'm not enough. It's only a matter of time before you will find a way to sabotage yourself into developing the illness again. And this happens about 95% of the time. And this includes attracting the pathogens all over again. This is why when a person does a parasite cleanse, such as a full moon protocol, within a very short time, that person will have the pathogens, the parasites all over again, because the root cause is never the pathogen. It's never the Lyme. It's never the parasite. It's never the virus. It is the less than satisfying self-image that a person has, their identity. And this template forms between the ages of 0 to 6 years old. These are the most powerful memories a person has. Now, I know some people might be surprised on hearing this, or maybe even suggest that I don't remember anything from those years. So how could this possibly be why I have anger, or why I have diabetes, or why I have depression, or why I have MS or anything else? Well, let's take a closer look at this intriguing concept in a recent example I shared with a patient to help you kind of make this connection a little better. As I go over this, it would be helpful to place yourself in this circumstance. You can relate to how your own reactions occur. It's important to understand that when we react to situations we do, these circumstances are not actual events in the present moment. We are actually responding to the past. And this is the classic definition of trauma from childhood. I recently asked a patient of mine I was working with through Zoom to give me an example of when was the most recent episode that they were upset with someone in their lives. It was something that he felt comfortable sharing with me. And this patient told me that he had a few things that needed to get fixed on his car. So he had hired a particular man to fix them while he was out of town. And when he returned, he found the problems were still present in his car. They were not addressed at all. So when I asked him about his initial response on the emotional level, he told me it was immediate anger. And this is a very common response in this kind of circumstance. Well, then I proceeded to ask him kind of a silly question on what exactly he was angry about. And after he paused for a moment, he said, I was angry because a person had told me that they would replace this and this would be repaired. And when he got home, he expected it to be complete. So he was very angry. And then I asked him, well, that's what happened. A person told you they would commit to this and they didn't commit. So I asked him more specifically, what were you angry about in this circumstance? What does that mean when the guy didn't deliver what he said he would deliver? Now follow closely to hear his response. He said, it meant they didn't care about me and they disrespected me. I said, okay, so they didn't do it because they didn't respect you or care about you. Now, let's just look at all the possibilities of what else could be going on. Is it possible that there's other reasons that this person didn't fulfill what they said they would do, completely outside of not caring or respecting you? What kind of reasons could exist for that person not getting the job done and, that they said they were committed to? What kind of reasons exist that has nothing to do with not caring about you? What if this person had an emergency? What if his child was injured? What if his wife was stranded somewhere? I mean, there are literally a million other reasons that could be going on other than the reason that you immediately came up with. Any number of possibilities. Now, I asked him, of all the possibilities we just listed, which one is internally worst for you? It was the first one he came up with, that he didn't care and he didn't respect me. So what's the important lesson to learn from this? We as people, overall, we don't respond to what happens. We respond to our own interpretation of what happens. Our own perception is what we immediately act on, regardless of if it's true or not. Now, if there was an emergency that this individual had, so he couldn't make the commitments that he said he would, I asked my patient, you wouldn't feel disrespected at all, right? I mean, if his wife was in a car accident, and he agreed, no, not at all. If we don't respond to the event, but we do respond to our interpretation of the event, out of all the possibilities, we choose the worst one immediately. And the truth is, we didn't even choose this. My patient didn't even choose this. His brain immediately jumped there automatically. It jumped to the worst one automatically. So we have to ask why. When I asked my patient, was this the first time in your life that something like this has ever happened to you and you felt angry because someone didn't respect you? And his response was, no, of course not. It's not the first time. It goes way back. Actually, these kind of events are common from those early childhood memories, those early childhood events. And this is what trauma is. It's not that we do not respond to the current circumstance. We respond to the past without knowing it, completely unconsciously. So then I told my patient, well, let's pretend for a moment that you're the most affectionate, charming, captivating human being on the face of the earth. And when you hire this man to work on your car, and now you return from out of town, and you find your car actually hasn't been touched at all, hasn't been worked on, nothing's been done, what would your initial reaction be then? And of course, he immediately got the message and realized that his immediate response would have nothing to do with anger at all. It would be complete understanding. And that's the point. When we reframe things, our entire perception of the way we view the world changes. This is internal filters, okay? Whatever your brain is going to go to first, whatever circumstance comes up immediately is a filter. And when we begin to change that, that's where true healing lies. It isn't anything a doctor can give you, period. Liberation must come from within, changing our own filters on how we respond to our circumstances. Go to my page, Dr. Gabe Roberts, and like it and tag a friend as I continue to go into depth on your mind, how it works, and show you the greatest part of you is something that you'll never see.